Hey, this is Sal from Gun Barrel Coffee with Matt, an associate of PLiNK FiREARMS here in Geneva. He's my special guest. Couldn't get the camera to work, so we're doing this old school audio. So it's almost like being on the radio, and but I can tell you we're two very good-looking guys here.
That's right.
That's right. So Matt, tell us what kind of stuff do you have over at PLiNK, or what do you do in Austin?
It's a full-service gun store. The only thing we do not have is a range, but we do gunsmithing of all different sorts. Sales of any Illinois compliant firearm and accessories. We're also going to do. We also do concealed carry classes and renewals.
Okay.
We have people that will do one-on-one training with you as well. And we're also in the future we're going to do events with customers as well. So the aim is to be a more than your average gun store, more than just a store.
Right.
We really enjoy helping people get find the firearms and accessories they want. Especially with new people who are new to concealed carry or competitive shooting in particular, we're always very, very happy to help those people get acquainted with the wonderful, wild world of firearms.
So if somebody's interested in getting their concealed, what is one of the first things they need to do when they come into your store?
The only thing that you really need to do is just sign up for the classes. You don't even need a firearm of your own. In the classes, it's 2 8-hour classes,
right?
16 total hours. It's generally every other Sunday that we do it. So we'll walk you through all of the use of force laws, the Illinois laws, familiarity with firearms in general, the best ways to conceal carry, and so on. How to shoot, all the fundamentals like that. If you have a FOID card, we're always happy to. In the store, we're always happy to show people whatever concealed carry firearms they want to see and go over everything with you if you're new to guns and concealed carry.
Now, you do need a FOID card to pick up the gun itself.
Yes, but the state law says you have to have a FOID card, which stands for Firearm Owner's ID card. You have to have a card to handle the firearm, and state law requires us to have. And it's probably a federal thing too, where there's cameras in the store, so we get audited by the state authorities or whatever. So, got to have a FOID, and we got to obey all the rules too. So.
What is it that say somebody from out of state, but they don't have an Illinois FOID card?
They are SOL.
Really?
So to speak. Yes.
They can't.
You have to have Illinois law says you have to have a FOID. As unfair as it sounds. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Even if they have concealed carry from another state?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my understanding is anyway that the Illinois is our friends in Springfield have made it so that Illinois law is not reciprocal.
Okay.
So if you have an Illinois FOID, you can carry in other states. But if you have a concealed carry license from Michigan or whatever, that does not cover you in Illinois.
All right. Now, have you seen more women coming to buy firearms?
Absolutely. That's something that I think whether it's current events that people are paying attention to or the firearms industry in general, there's been a lot more women getting involved both in concealed carry or competitive shooting. The industry in general has Walther, Smith & Wesson, and others, 6 Hour. They're trying to reach out to women and make the firearm make some of the firearms themselves more accessible to women, like their hands and their safety features they want, and so on, in colors. You can get handguns in pink and cow print and blue and all sorts of all sorts of cute stuff for the ladies.
And it seems like more accessories for women to on their person than carry.
Yes, and women actually do have quite a few. Women have a lot of different options for concealed carry, whether it's purse carry or if you're wearing a skirt or whatever. Women have a lot of options in terms of how to carry a firearm on their person.
Now, let's say a first-time gun buyer with a FOID card comes in, and they want to pick up a gun. The price ranges for guns can go from $150 probably up to a couple $100,000, $2,000, right?
Yeah.
But is the average new person going to buy the best gun out there? Or are they going to kind of go mid-range, low-range, you think?
That's a good question. I think most new people come in and just want something solid.
Right.
And that's usually my advice to them too, is just find something that's solid, that you can grow with as well. A lot of the high-end guns are very kind of specialty guns, and we're never going to push you in a certain direction, especially in terms of your price point or your budget. The only thing we tell people, the only thing we advise is to not get too cheap, because then sometimes you can, manufacturers will cut corners in terms of the design of the gun itself, the materials, and the safety features, and the fit and finish. So you can have, once you get too cheap, you start to have reliability issues, and we want people to have a good experience with their firearms, not have jamming and whatever else. So
You ever had a person come in and go, "This is the gun I want," and you're like, "No, this gun is absolutely horrible. Here's one a little bit better that won't jam on you," or it just the reviews on it were like not so great, but it was so cheap. But you're like, "No, you won't be happy."
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. I mean, ultimately, we'll sell you whatever ill-compliant firearm you want, but we do occasionally talk people out of firearms that we think are probably too much for them, or too expensive for their needs, or something that's going to be unreliable for them, or just unrealistic for them to use. Like for instance, if you want a home defense firearm, but you're looking at a 44 Magnum revolver, for a small person with small hands, or you're an older person or whatever, or you're inexperienced, that's not a good choice. No matter how cool you think 30 carry is, and it's very cool, and it's a very cool gun. In a real life home defense situation, it's not a particularly good firearm. So we were always happy to talk people through kind of the decision making process, because there's tons of choices out there. Tons of choices. It's kind of dizzying, especially if you're new. Yeah. We're always very happy to talk people through all that stuff.
You always have people saying, "Well, you should have a shotgun for home defense. You should have a 9mm."
Yeah, and you can have an AR or whatever.
Yes,
it's but part of the fun of being in the firearms community is we have these endless debates, right, about what's best for this, what's best for that, and why I always tell people is it depends on your situation. Do you live in a condo? Do you live in the middle of the country where there's no one around you? Because if you're talking home defense, unless you plan to never miss, you have to worry about wound penetration and a bullet or pellets and shotgun going through walls. So it depends greatly on where you are, or even if you live in the boonies where you don't think the prosecutor's office is going to look at you, or you live in downtown Chicago, where they're not friendly to firearm owners. So all those things kind of come into play.
All right, so you guys have the store here, which is right next to Gun Barrel Coffee. Give them the address, maybe website, or some information about your store.
So it's 409 Stevens in Geneva. We're at 4th Street in Stevens. Our website is easy enough, just PLiNKFiReARMS.com. And you can always, if you have a question about anything on the website or our services or whatever, you can always shoot us an email at support@PLiNKFiReARMS.com. So, and I never hesitate to ask questions, or if you If you can't make it to the store, if you want a quote for a firearm or accessory, just shoot us an email, and we'd be happy to send you a quote, and you can pay for it, with a link. So you can save yourself a trip if you like.
Do you know the phone number?
I'm going to give it a shot. It's 630-200-7146. That might be wrong.
If it's wrong, but check it out, because you can find it on, the website, interweb, whatever you guys want to call it these days. You can find phone number, address, stop by here in Geneva to PLiNK FiREARMS, then stop by here at Gunbarrel Coffee for a cup of coffee or a bag of coffee. Hey, thank you, Matt, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So that's the end of our show, about the 10-minute mark where I try to keep it. So you guys be good out there.